There is a massive divide between someone who drinks bourbon and someone who understands bourbon. One pays for the label, the other knows how to decode the soul inside the bottle. Stop letting these 5 amateur mistakes eviscerate your palate. Especially number 3, it's the exact reason your $100 top-shelf bottle tastes no better than a cheap well drink from a dive bar. If you're ready to stop wasting precious drops and start drinking like a true connoisseur, hit that subscribe and like button right now. Trust me, both your palate and your wallet will be thanking me by the end of this video. 1. Not prioritizing a clean palate. Think about it. Would you brush your teeth and then immediately take a sip of orange juice? Of course not. It's a disaster. The same logic applies to bourbon. If you just finished a basket of spicy buffalo wings or a garlicky pasta, your taste buds are basically blind. You aren't tasting the $60 bottle of bourbon in your hand, you're tasting bourbon-flavored garlic. To truly experience the deep, complex layers of a fine American whiskey, you need a blank canvas. Bold, lingering flavors from spicy or pungent foods act like a wall between you and the subtle notes of vanilla, toasted oak, or dark fruit. If your palate is cluttered, even the most expensive top-shelf pour will taste dull and flat. Before you pour that dram, you've got to reset. The pros keep it simple. Plain crackers, a slice of white bread, or even a crisp apple work wonders to neutralize your mouth. If you're at a bar and don't have snacks, the absolute bare minimum is a few sips of still water. Cleanse the palate first, then enjoy the pour. Don't let your lunch ruin your luxury. 2. Skipping to use a whiskey tasting glass. Look, I get it. You want to feel like a badass holding a heavy Crystal Rocks glass, and for a casual pour, that's fine. But if you're trying to actually taste what's in the bottle, ditch the tumbler. Bourbon isn't just a drink, it's a science. When you use a tasting glass like a Glencairn, you're using a tool. The tulip shape traps those heavy esters and directs the aroma straight to your nose. A wide-mouthed glass lets all those expensive flavors escape into the room before they even hit your tongue. Plus, the tapered top restricts oxidation, keeping the proof and the profile exactly how the master distiller intended. Use the tasting glass for the first pour to get the real story. You can switch to the heavy glass later, once you're just sipping for the vibe. 3. Didn't pause to take a whiff. If you aren't smelling your bourbon, you're only getting half the experience. Period. In the whiskey world, nosing is 80% of the flavor. Your taste buds can only do so much. Your nose is what picks up the subtle notes of charred oak, toasted marshmallow, or spicy rye. Don't just take one quick sniff and dive in. You need to approach the glass 3 or 4 times. And here's a pro tip for high-proof American bourbon. Keep your mouth slightly open. It lets the alcohol vapors bypass your senses so you don't burn your nose, allowing you to smell the actual whiskey. Distilleries like Dread River spend years aging these spirits to develop that complexity. Don't disrespect the craft by skipping the scent. 4. Taking an overly large sip. We've all seen the movies where the tough guy slams a double shot of whiskey without blinking. In reality, that's the fastest way to ruin your palate. Bourbon is a high-alcohol spirit. If you take a massive gulp, your mouth's natural defense mechanism kicks in. You'll get hit with a massive Kentucky hug that feels more like a punch to the throat, causing you to cough and miss the flavor entirely. You want to take small, controlled sips. Think of it like a Kentucky chew. Let the liquid coat your entire tongue and move it around your mouth. This lets your saliva dilute the alcohol slightly, opening up the honey, vanilla, and spice notes. If you're coughing, you're rushing. Bourbon isn't about the destination, getting drunk. It's about the journey. Slow down and savor it. 5. Pouring too much bourbon. I know you're settled in for the night and don't want to keep getting up, but filling your glass halfway is a rookie move. The moment bourbon hits the air, it starts to oxidize. While a little air helps the whiskey breathe, too much air for too long makes your bourbon go flat. It loses its punch, and those vibrant notes of caramel and spice start to taste dull and oxidized. Plus, a massive pour is an invitation for evaporation to steal the best parts of your drink. By the time you get to the bottom of a heavy pour, the flavor balance is gone. The golden rule: pour a small dram enough to finish in about 20 to 30 minutes. You can always pour another. Fresh bourbon is always better than a glass that's been sitting out getting stale. At the end of the day, bourbon is meant to be enjoyed, not overthought. but a few small tweaks to your routine can be the difference between a basic drink and an extraordinary experience. Don't spend years guessing or wasting good juice on trial and error. By mastering these simple, proven techniques, you're already miles ahead of the average drinker. If you're ready to take your whiskey game to the big leagues, don't stop here. Get out there and hit up local distilleries for a professional tasting. There is no better way to sharpen your palate than by sampling award-winning spirits right at the source, like the pours at Dread River Distilling Company. Stop settling for average. Cheers to drinking better bourbon.